Not only that, God decided to give me a daughter. I didn't know what to do with that child. I had absolutely no clue whatsoever, simply because I had grown up with mostly boys. And so, with growing up with mostly boys, you don't really know the girly type things that you're supposed to do. Because I was a tomboy, I was in the streets cutting flips, playing baseball, softball, kickball, football, and all of the above in the streets with them. So, that is all I knew. Hey, brother, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. So, starting motherhood for me at a very young age was something I wasn't quite sure that I was ready for, that I knew anything about, but I have been taking care of other people's children, because they seem to think that I was responsible for, taking care of their children. My very first experience with, kids at a young age was I was 13 years old. My aunt and uncle, they were going out of town to a softball tournament, and their youngest was about 5 or 6 months old, and they were going out of town for the weekend. Um, and they asked me to keep the baby. Now, during this time, you still had to like sterilize the bottles. The milk came in the can, and you had to boil the water to mix in with the can of milk. So I'm 13. I'm not quite sure, what I'm supposed to do, but I had been doing it anyway. Just, randomly when they needed a babysitter, I would always volunteer. So I did that, and they decided that they were going to go out of town and trust me with their child, not only for an overnight visit, but 2 nights. And they expected her to be safe. Now there was another adult in the house. It wasn't just me being 13 left alone, but the ultimate responsibility was mine. And so I managed to do it. She didn't die. There wasn't anything wrong with her. She still had all her limbs. And so everything was, good. She survived. I survived. Now, coming back to myself, 17, not quite sure to know what motherhood was going to look like or feel like, but I did make a promise to my daughter to, always be there and always be an open door for her to be able to talk to me about anything. Now, I think I made a big mistake when I did that, because my children now, they're grown and they talk to me about everything, because some of the things I really don't want to know. And that's one of the things that does come with motherhood. So I've been a mother for 28 years now. And it doesn't get easier. There's a lot of books that they have out here that, it's a guideline, I'll say it that way. Because it's really on the job training that you get when you have your own child. Because I got three, and there are three distinct, different personalities. My oldest, she is very outspoken, but also she has the most kind hearted spirit when it comes to caring for others. My youngest has that spirit too. My middle one, he's more of straight to the point, very blunt, very, hard headed, to the sense of not wanting to be told what to do, but has to go through the hard lessons and find out the hard way, versus actually taking the advice that you're giving him so that he doesn't get hurt. He's that child. My youngest is the logical and more person who's going to hold you accountable to doing the things that you say that you're going to do. He is that type of child and has always been, since he's been on this earth. And he holds me accountable. If I tell him I'm going to do something, he holds me to that standard, to the deadline that I say. And I'm grateful for that. So God knew what he was doing when he blessed me with these three. But some days I be trying to run away from them, but it doesn't quite work out that way, because they going to find me, and they going to call around to find me if they have not heard from me in a day or two. I remember I had a stroke. Well, not just that I remember that I had a stroke, but I remember the time when I did, and I was going through some things, and I didn't understand how my kids were really just so happy go lucky during the whole process of everything that I was going through. My kids have always looked at things in a way of positivity, even in the midst of darkness and things of that nature. And I didn't understand why. But my son, I told them something when they were smaller, and that was to give whatever you give your feelings to, whatever you focus on the most, that